tuning in to Alex CFB 25. We are weeks away from this game dropping, but I can't just keep producing content off of small clips of gameplay. So I decided to switch it up a little bit today. I hope you guys like it. Please click a like. Please subscribe. Thanks for coming on this journey with me. And let's just jump right into it. So in the deep dive video, there were some snippets and clips of matchups. So what I was able to do is freeze frame and snippet these so that you guys can take a look at these matchups. And I have to make sure I say this. These ratings are not final, and they're subject to change, the player ratings or the team ratings that they showed in the deep dive clip. So with saying that, let's jump right into this. So this first matchup we're seeing is Michigan versus Iowa. Two legacy, incredible Big Ten programs, returning national champs versus a very strong defensive team. So just look at the animation and the graphics of these helmets. 11 years ago, the game was very related and looked nothing like this, right? We can focus on that all day, but I just wanted to say these helmets are super exciting. I love the matchup screens, at least how they're shown in the deep dive. And let's take a look at the next matchup that they showed. All right. The next one is BYU versus Utah. Two incredible teams out in Utah. Big rivalry matchup. I guess this is the Holy War. I didn't even know that was referred to as that. Really strong offenses. As you can see, Utah has a leg up on their defense. Big shout out to the recruiting at Utah. They are going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Big 12 this year. Some great players on both sides of the ball. All right, let's take a look at the next clip that was shown in the deep dive video. All right, so now we have Arizona against West Virginia. Another Big 12 matchup here. As you can see, both teams are fairly balanced, right? Arizona appears to have a slight edge over West Virginia in their offense. These are not final ratings for teams. And then a slight edge from West Virginia on their defense. But two very balanced teams. It looks like this will be an exciting matchup with Arizona coming in from the Pac-12 into the Big 12 now. Let's take a look at the next one. The next matchup is Chapel Hill versus Cal, right? So another team coming from the Pac-12 into a different conference this time, the ACC. As you can see, Chapel Hill has the leg up on Cal in their offense and defense. Really exciting stadium to go watch a game if you haven't been up to Chapel Hill. And, it'll be interesting to see how the Pac-12 teams will acclimate and perform in their new conferences. It'll be exciting just to see what new rivalries develop, especially for, as you can see, I'm wearing my Irish support today. My number one team is the Colorado Buffaloes. I need to preface that. But over the past 4 years, I've become an Irish fan. I can go into those details later. Going back to these matchups, super cool matchup between these two ACC soon-to-be rivals. All right, next matchup is Maryland versus Minnesota. Historic program with Minnesota, always in the conversation for playing for a conference title. And then you have Maryland, which has really came up in the past few years. They've had some historically great teams, but as you can see, these two teams are extremely close in the current ratings that EA Sports College Football has them at. Should be exciting to see some of these actual matchups between conferences and some of the matchups highlighted in the deep dive video. All right, to our next one. We have Arizona State versus Utah. Already, gave tons of kudos to Utah as they're going to be super tough. Arizona State looks like they might be a little down. Who knows, right? They're playing in the Big 12 this year. Maybe they can turn some heads. I'm hoping my Buffs will turn some heads in the Big 12. Really cool images of both helmets here. All right, let's go to our next matchup. It is Minnesota at Iowa. Okay, again, kind of already talked about these two teams. They have the battle for the Floyd of something. Yes. Please don't hate on me for not knowing that matchup. I remember trying to earn that pig when I used to do dynasties in college football and NCAA football way back in the day. So let's see what's next. All right, now we have a matchup between Indiana and Michigan. So home team here, Indiana, massive underdog between this matchup. Michigan returning national champs versus in conference matchup. Okay, let's look at the next one. Then we have, I didn't go too far. All right, then we have Utah again matching up with Baylor. Much closer matchup here. Both teams highly rated. I think in preseason rankings, both teams are pretty high. So this should be an exciting matchup for these two Big 12 teams. Utah coming in from the Pac-12 should be able to make some noise right away. All right. Then we have two decent teams from ACC in Miami versus the Duke Blue Devils, right? So it looks like Miami has a slight advantage in their defense, but their offense is right on par with the current rankings between Miami and Duke. Should be exciting to see how each of these teams perform this year. Both of them have had very strong seasons in the past and several mediocre ones. All right, let's see what's next. All right. Boston College versus Pitt. Pitt, on paper, incredible offense and defense in the current rankings. Boston College, a little bit lower, but who knows? Those Eagles, sometimes they just show up and they're going to bust up each of the week's ranking. So looks like they are. I haven't been able to look at their roster yet, but it looks like they are a step behind some of the other teams in the ACC this year. All right, let's go to the next one. It is Michigan State versus the Fighting Illini. Good job, Alex. All right. So Michigan State, known for their hoops, great basketball, but have had some solid years of football as well. Illinois, yeah. As you can see on paper, this is just overpower versus struggling to remain competitive. But who knows, right? Like, especially in this game with the pulse, the home field advantage meter, that could really change the outcome of some of these matchups. That could play a much larger deciding factor than we anticipate, since it's brand new to all of us. All right, here's our next one. It is Clemson versus NC State. Clemson on paper, much stronger when it comes to their defense, but NC State's got some beast. They're going to be ready to play. I live in the state, so, North Carolina versus South Carolina, Textile Bowl. I am going to be rooting for the Wolfpack. All right. So, and then that is it. That is all we have to show today. I appreciate you all tuning in. Again, please click a like. Please subscribe. It'll help us out. Peace.